kitchen cabinets. I should have started this video earlier. I wasn't sure I was going to do it. So, but we already started. And we moved all the doors in the hardware, and we marked all the doors, and I'll show you how we did that. We just had painted this house recently, so we can't get any paint on the walls. So we taped those off. And what Brian's doing now is he's just applying a first coat of bonding primer. And this will bond to the veneer finish and be good for holding paint. We don't normally do the insides of the cabinets. We leave those factory. We're just doing the outside and the stiles. And the doors are outside getting ready to be sprayed. So let's go out there and take a look at that. Similar to the custom cabinets that we painted for a customer not too long ago, I did a video on. But I just want to show you once again how to do this. Now, if you're going to do this at home, the steps are pretty close to the same, except for you'd probably be brushing and rolling your doors, unless you know how to spray. Spraying looks the best. It looks like factory. So what we do though is after we take all the hardware off, I mark the doors. That's door number 9. And then I put tape over it, so because after I spray, pull that tape off, I'll know what number that is and I know where that goes. And then of course the hardware goes here, you'll never see that number 9. So how I like to do it so I can do this job in 2 days is I'm prepping and washing using mineral spirits, sandpaper, and a scraper. These have been in the kitchen for years, so you get a lot of grease buildup at the top. Still sometimes food particles and stuff. And you want to get that all off there. You're going to get it nice and clean. And I even paint the back sides of the drawers. And then, so I'm going to do, after I get these all prepped up and cleaned, I'm going to spray a coat of bonding primer on the back side. Put the fan on them, let that dry, and then I'm going to put a coat of the semi-gloss finish coat on the back side. And that's all I'm going to do today. I'm going to let this dry overnight. Really want to let this dry really, thoroughly. And then tomorrow I'll come over and I'll flip the doors over, spray a coat on the front side of the bonding primer, and then go ahead and spray a coat of the, wait for the garbage truck to go by. Don't stop, keep going. Okay, and then spray a coat of the finish coat on the doors. Tomorrow's Friday, I'll let those dry Saturday and Sunday. We'll come back Monday and we'll hang them all. So she had a price of $35,000 to put new cabinets in. Same template, same location as new cabinets, and wanted $35,000. So she's going to save a ton of money by having us paint these. So I got these all washed up, sanded and ready to go. I've already started. So here's my little sprayer here. It's a little Graco Magnum. You can buy them at Home Depot for probably under $300. And I tell you what, I've had this thing for a couple of years and we use it quite a bit. We've got bigger ones. But something about this with a little 25-foot hose and a 313 spray tip. If you know anything about spraying, it's kind of a fine tip. This thing just won't die. Just take good care of it and it keeps on working. So if there's something you'd like to try and you're going to save a lot of money in doing your cabinets, it would be a good investment to go ahead and buy one of these things if you want to, if it costs $300 and you're saving a lot of money by painting your cabinets, it's in the long run, it's probably a pretty good idea. Or you could just hire a professional like me. So I'm going to have to hold this with one hand and then try to film how we go ahead and do this. This is just the primer coat, Pro Block by Sherwin-Williams. It does have kind of a beigey color to it. So we just take the handle here. And you want to get these 3 sides best you can. Now I'll go over the other side and get the other side when I'm done with this. And it's going to go a little light. You don't have to go too heavy. Hey, look, it's a really nice factory finish. So in between spraying, you're going to want to wipe the tip of your gun. So let me do that right now. See, you get a little buildup sometimes, and then when you spray, it wants to spit out some large chunks. So you don't want any drips when you're trying to get a factory finish. Oops, this door is upside down. I'm supposed to be doing this way. Well, I'm going to spray it this way then, because it's already wet, I don't want to flip it over. So I want to do all the back sides first and do the front sides last. See, real low pressure, real fine tip. You know, a nice light mist like that. That's all you need for the first coat. Okay, I'm going to finish these up and then we'll check back. Okay, it's only been less than an hour. It's maybe hard to see, but I put that fan right next to it and the stuff dries pretty quickly. I don't know if you can see how flat it is. Over here, I couldn't get the fan on it. You can see a few wet spots here and there. So this side's got to dry up a little bit more, but you put the fan on them, they dry up pretty quick. So now what I did was I switched out the color to the Super Paint Semi-Gloss, colored to Snowbound, which is just kind of like a creamy white. And I'll put the finish coat on the back sides of all these doors and call it a day. Tomorrow we'll do the other side. Okay, I flip these doors over and I put a coat of the bonding primer on. And even though I cleaned these really well, you can see here, this must have had some type of oil or grease or something that I thought I washed everything off, but this happens sometimes. So it happened there, a little bit here. You see the separation, so it's got either a wax or a grease. There's a little bit right there, a little bit right there, a lot of it right there. This must be next to a stove. I wiped all this down. I sanded them up and I wiped them all down with mineral spirits. I didn't use a degreaser, and I think that was my problem. So what I have to do now is I have to get this fan going and dry these out, and then try to sand these spots off, and then apply another coat of the bonding primer on. But like I said, this does happen from time to time. Okay, well, I sanded these out as best I could, and then I sprayed them again. There was two of them, this one and this one. These are the real bad ones. And I sprayed them again with bonding primer, and some of it came back still. So I sanded. I spent an hour on these trying to get these right, and I put another coat on there, and it seemed to be okay. So I sprayed. This is the finish coat. This is one nice coat of semi-gloss latex over a couple coats of bonding primer. And if you wonder what the bonding primer is, it's just a Sherwin-Williams product called Pro Block Latex. It's a blocker and bonding agent. It doesn't do too well with stain killing, so if you have smoke and stuff. Now this one here kind of got gnarled up. I was painting it and I got a big bloob in there, so I tried to wipe it off. It took the other coat off. The paint loosened the undercoat, and so I'm going to have to deal with this on Monday. I'm going to let this dry over the weekend, sand it down, and have to redo this one. The trick with this is, the real trick, especially when you're using a latex base, water base, is the longer it dries, the harder it gets. The more of the water evaporates and leaves the solids behind. So it takes, a good 7 days before it's really, really dry. And I think on the back of the can, you see it's about 21 days until it's completely cured. So I'm going to let these dry. It's Friday afternoon now. I'm going to let these dry over the weekend. And then Monday, they definitely be dry enough to handle. And we'll hang these, put all the hardware back on, hang these back onto the cabinets, and do any fine tuning we need to do, if there's any little touch-ups or anything we need to do. In the meantime, I'm just going to leave this shop in these people's garage just like this over the weekend. I don't want to kick up any dust. I want to keep this as dust-free as possible. So it does look like, you get like a nice factory finish when you spray. It's not 100% perfect because I'm not working in a completely sterile, vacuum. There is dust and particles and bugs and stuff, so we try to keep that to a minimum. So anyway, we'll pick this up on Monday. But first, let's go and take a look. I had to put a 4th coat on the inside cabinets. So we got 1 coat of primer, and then Brian put 2 coats of finish on here. White doesn't want to cover too well. So I came in today, I could just peek out a little grayish tone coming through. So I put a 4th coat on everything. Now, like I said before, once the door is up, you're going to see very, very little of the body of the cabinets. The only thing you're really going to see are the end caps. The ends here, and just a sliver of the frame. You're really not going to see anything. So we roll this with that micro roller. It looks like it's sprayed. It's not as nice as spray, but you see so little of it, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Okay, so I'll pick this back up on Monday and we'll hang them up. Okay, so it's Monday morning. We let these dry over the weekend, and they're pretty dry. The complete drying takes probably another week, but they're dry enough to handle, and they're dry enough to hang.
I guess I finished mine, Hunter.
So we numbered each one of these, as you can see. Now that we're done, we'll pull the tape off, and that'll be, we have numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one here goes right there. Did you find that screw?
Nope. I don't see anything in there.
Go down here.
I looked at the light, there's nothing in there.
Okay, so we got all the doors rehung and the handles are all in place. And as a last step I'd like to do is as part of our package as we go through and add new bumpers, like right there. So the doors do not hit the frame. Just a little extra thing you can do. And as you can see, they pretty much look like factory finished brand new cabinets for a fraction of the price. Now she said that she had a price to replace the cabinets with new cabinets. The same design, no changes, just new cabinets, and they wanted like $35,000. And she got this for a fraction of the cost.